We begin tonight with the race to replace disgraced Congressman Troy Radel in District 19. Republican candidates Lizbeth Benaquisto, Paige Kriegel, and Michael Drycorn calling a joint press conference in response to an exclusive Fox 4 investigation into fellow Republican Kurt Clausen's ties to a convicted pedophile in Utah. It's a highly unusual move, as many of these candidates are still running negative ads about each other. Our team coverage is live tonight from Fort Myers. Foreign Reporter investigator Warren Wright broke this story wide open. He's got an update in just a moment, but first let's begin with Kelly Stegeman with the details from this presser where drama really took center stage this evening. Kelly?
Now, these Republican candidates say they wanted to stand together to call on fellow candidate Kurt Clausen to answer questions about his business relationship with a convicted sex offender. But this party of three quickly became a party of four.
We're here because the most important thing we can do is ask for transparency.
Clausen unexpectedly showed up, therefore turning this press conference upside down. Before he turned up, the other three drove home the message that they wanted to stop the negativity in this race and focus on truths and financial transparency with the public. Clausen then took over, saying it was the other, quote, career politicians in this race bringing the negativity and dragging out the issue of his business relationship with a convicted sex offender, an offense he says he knew nothing about until Four in Your Corner investigator Warren Wright broke this story last week.
This was an internal family tragedy, and it's being used by career politicians to score political points. Is this what we are now?
Candidates here, all of the candidates here are expected to meet at the Lee County School District for a debate tonight. We talked to Clausen after the press conference, and he says he hopes this issue happens no more.
Thank you, Kelly. We are going to move on now. We want to tell you first that tonight on Fox 4 News at 10, we're going to have a lot more from this press conference and the debate expected to get underway 15 minutes. Once again, that was Kelly Stegeman in Fort Myers, so we'll get back with her in just a second. Foreign Reporter investigator Warren Wright was the first to actually break this story. He's been monitoring how Clausen's details of his relationship continued to evolve. Warren is live in Fort Myers as well to explain the newest twist in this saga, plus how Clausen is now employing the help of the woman who says she's being victimized again by this very story. Warren?
That's right, Emily. Today, the Clausen campaign releasing a video featuring Glenn Borst's ex-wife, who she says was raped by Glenn Borst. Now, she's taking direct aim at Kurt Clausen's GOP rivals. Take a listen.
To try to score cheap points against someone, they forced our family into the political fray. Kurt Clausen had nothing to do with our private family ordeal. To those politicians who would selfishly parade my family around, stop.
Now, none of the rival campaigns have ever given this woman's name, and no one has ever accused Clausen of having a hand in the sexual assault case that ended in Glenn Borst's conviction in 2004. But shifting back to today's press conference, this really is unprecedented. We've never seen a group of candidates come together and unite behind one single cause, and that cause, they say, is the lack of transparency by Kurt Clausen, in particular to his financial disclosure forms. Kurt Clausen, like all the other candidates running for United States Congress, has to fill out the same financial disclosure form, which covers the period between January 1st, 2013 to February 28th, 2014. The questions being raised aren't what he put in it, but what he left out. Fox 4 News broke the story on how Clausen didn't include the house in Utah, 2237 Chestnut Circle, Saratoga Springs. When I asked the Clausen campaign about it, the campaign manager said in an email last Wednesday it was an investment property for rent. The campaign went on to admit that convicted child rapist Glenn Borst lived in the house when it wasn't being rented. The financial forms do not list the house as property, nor does it show any income earned from renting it. Then yesterday, the Clausen campaign had this letter from a certified public accountant saying they didn't need to disclose it, claiming, quote, the Utah property was not held for investment nor for the production of income during the reporting period. Clausen is registered as manager of a company titled Rewired CEO, which owned the house. Again, I asked why Rewired CEO was not listed on the financial disclosure form. The certified public accountant for Clausen stated, quote, it did not conduct an active trade or business. But nowhere on the disclosure form does it ask if the company made any money. It simply wants any and all corporations affiliated with the candidate to be listed. Okay, now, so here is where the three candidates were standing, and this is where Kurt Clausen showed up and basically crashed their party. Now, today he tried to reframe the entire discussion, saying it was a shame that the other campaign were talking about a negative aspect, and he's saying that needs to stop, and referring in particular to the sex crime. Now, I asked some pointed questions of him today about what he was trying to do, and we're going to have his answers tonight at 10 o'clock. Live downtown Fort Myers, Warren Wright, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Warren. In Your Corner continues to investigate the District 19 congressional candidates for you. You can watch all of our reports right now when you go to fox4now.com.